Okay, I clicked the button. We're live.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our live DFS show. We're doing this a night early. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live, and thank you for watching on the rebroadcast. If you have not yet subscribed, do so right now. I'll give you a second. You won't miss anything. Go ahead. Do it right now.
Oh, that looks pleasant.
It's very pleasant. Another local beer.
Nice.
I got a Session IPA tonight.
Oh, nice. Keeping her hoppy but light.
Hoppy but light. Yeah, exactly. Just like me. No, I'm heavy and
Heavy and your hops aren't so good anymore.
my hops aren't good. I'm a rim snapper at best.
Yeah. Rim snapper
What's going on,
classic.
guys? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, hit up any questions in the chat. Like I said, subscribe to our channel, hit that thumbs up. All of that is very appreciated. This is our typical Wednesday night show, Craig. It's a huge tournament.
Well, it's not our typical Wednesday night show because it's Tuesday, but we are still going to be going live tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern. It's going to be, more of just a chat, Q&A, talking through
Live
probably
before
our
lock.
picks and our one and dones and those kind of things as well.
And what has changed in the last 24 hours? Any news on the eve of the players?
Yeah,
That kind of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, watch out for that thumbnail as well. Hit the reminder. Yeah, so this is our typical live DFS show. We go through the entire field. That is our DFS model that you see on our website. The links are below if you want to do it yourself. Craig, we got a bunch of new people. So do you want to maybe do a quick run through of what you're seeing with the model?
Yeah, well, basically, you've got this main part here has obviously the list of everyone in the tournament and their DK salary, their DraftKings salary. We got average score, so this is just a raw average score from the start of the 2019 season, start of 2021, and then we got the 3 strokes gained categories. Obviously, the last full season, the season thus far, and then the model. And the model, essentially what we do is we look at the last 10 years of the players, what were everyone's strokes gained stats going in, and then how predictive of that was to what they did that week. I don't know if that made sense.
Right.
How did the strokes gained stats predict what people did in terms of gaining strokes on the week of?
Basically, you can't take strokes gained stats for the tournament because everyone who wins is going to be putting well, So what have they done leading up to that kind of predicted that win or predicted that good outcome, right? That's what the model.
Essentially, we're looking to use it as a predictive as opposed to just see like what did they do well that week. Yes, because obviously the people who did well were the ones that do things well, and then essentially cost adjusted value. I'll vary, I'll do different formulas at different times. Right now, this is a logarithmic. It depends a little bit on the field and how the pricing structure, how many people essentially there are at different price points. But sometimes it'll be a more complicated, but this one's just a straight logarithmic cost adjusted value. And then we've got our annual strokes gained. So if I click on DJ here, we can see, all the way going back till 2011, what were his strokes gained stats on a yearly basis. Recent results down here at the bottom, and then tournament history. So obviously his finishes in the last few years, made cut percentage, average finish when he makes the cut, and then his strokes gained at the tournament.
Yeah, a wealth of knowledge. Like there's so much information packed into this. It's 100% free. Everything we do is 100% free. So check that out on our website. The strokes gained data is absolutely essential, I think, to finding who you want in your player pools.
Yeah. Nice to see you guys, Ray, Billy, Mike, Kix. I can't even remember your name. I just saw it on Twitter, but I can't remember your actual name. Nice to see you guys. You want to just get started at the top here?
That reminded me of that Yes Man scene where Zoe has a concert. It's like, pointing out, nice to see you, Rick, Billy, Steven, Ed.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a
classic Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, classic Zoe. All right, Craig. Do we want to talk general strategy, or you want to jump into it and then we'll talk strategy as we go?
So let's jump
into it. Okay.
Yeah, let's jump into it. I was going to say my strategy, oftentimes I feel like it's more important to talk general strategy when I'm taking some kind of extreme position. But I'm not doing that this week, so I'm not going to try to explain why I have, a whole bunch of ownership on a couple of guys. So I think let's just get started at the top and work our way down.
Okay. So 10K and above. First guy, obviously, DJ Myron had a good point. Walter Gretzky, the father of Wayne Gretzky and the iconic hockey dad in Canada, in the
Yeah.
world, maybe, passed away this past week, within the past week, I think. It
Yeah,
wasn't brought up.
only a few days, or it seems like maybe it was only made public a few days ago, but yeah.
Mhm. It wasn't brought up in the press conference, I don't think, with DJ this today for the players, but something, yeah, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to. I'm not going to factor it into whether I play him or not from a pure DFS point of view. Myron, though, it's definitely. It's hard for us to think that anyone might not be aware of that because here in Canada, it's like
Yeah.
literally front page of the headline, or front headline of the newspaper, not just like the sports section. So, yeah, it's sad. Walter Gretzky's been a Canadian figure for a long time, so. Sad to lose him, and I'm sure it is weighing on DJ a bit as he gets into this tournament.
Yeah.
But that said, I'm a fade on DJ.
So I was leaning that way a little bit, but I think there's a lot of chalk this week. I think there's a ton of kind of group think plays. Off the top of my head, I'm going to go JT, Morikawa, Cantlay, Answer. Like, I think a lot of these guys.
Well, I'm
super
just fading DJ because I had to cut down. Like, I think DJ's a good play. Sorry, Wezzy. No, I appreciated your comment over on Discord there. I think you were talking about
feeding the baby.
Feeding the baby, yeah. So Adam can probably appreciate that with a little kiddo in the house. He can probably appreciate that a lot more than I can. But nice to know we're helping pass the time when you got to do these things.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so no, DJ, I like it. I like the play. I went Rom instead. I'm assuming you probably have little bits of both.
A little bit more than, so I have 10% DJ just because it's a little bit FOMO head 10%. If good DJ with his irons shows up, he can absolutely, like,
oh yeah,
there's no event that DJ can't win.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. It's kind of like just a safety rainy day fund. Here's my DJ 10% rainy day fund.
Yeah,
and I move on.
No, I like it. I think I went a little bit smaller. I felt like I left my player pool too big. I've got 28 in my pool, and I think you've left yours even a bit bigger. So I think it's just a little bit different. So you've got 10% on DJ. And then
quickly, Ratil John. We'll get to all those. Throw names in the chat. We'll get to them absolutely as we come along. We're not going to forget. We see them. We'll get to them for sure.
Chris Kirk, I definitely won't be forgetting.
Or Amos Kirk. I'm going to talk about all of them.
Yeah. So Rom is.
Okay. So let me just talk 10K and above.
Yep.
Full fade on Rory.
I faded Brooks. I just.
Wow, savvy of you. Full fade on Rory, and I went 30 Rom. I actually went 30. Xander as well.
Oh, wow. So you really tried to differentiate by going up to the 10s because you think so many people are going to go balanced.
Yes.
Yeah. See, so I like that play. I didn't. I have 30 on Rom, but then I faded everyone else. I faded Rory. I faded Xander. This might be the first time in a while that I don't have any Xander, which means he'll probably win.
And for people watching this, Craig thinks Xander's going to be number one in the world at one point in his career. Yeah. Like, you're a huge Xander fan.
Yeah, to me, it's just, I think distance, like, I think Xander does everything well. Like, it's similar to DJ. I think he does everything well. I just think, to me, I think Rom, I think what this course demands, of these guys, he has that the most. Xander was the last one. He was the last one I cut from this range. So I almost did leave him in there, but I just couldn't quite. The thing, like, his putting's so good, his approach is so good that he's going to be good. He's got a good chance. I think he's got good win equity here.
Yeah, I mean, the one of the reasons I like Xander the most is because it seems like nobody is talking about Xander.
Yeah. It's like one off week at the WGC, and all of a sudden Xander's old news.
And he's priced above JT and Bryson, which I think takes a little bit of people away.
Steve Davidson's got some savvy advice there. Fade Willett too.
Yeah.
And then Tyler, nice to have you. Nice to hear good feedback like that. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay,
Uh,
we're moving on from 10Ks. That's kind of our
yeah, that's it for me.
That's our spiel.
Rory, I don't mind the play. I just think it's tough to know who's going to show up. So like again, all these guys, I'm going to take shots on showdowns with. Rory, I just feel like right now it's putting together 72 holes. Like he's great at points. It's just his bad golf isn't good enough right now. And I don't think this is a course where you can hide that.
Yeah, but you know what? He will pop at some point.
He will pop, and he's going to be, I think his ownership will be fairly low. I would think. It's tough. It's tough on weeks like this because you get maybe a bit more of the casual, not following the ins and outs of golf. And so to them, seeing Rory priced third, it's like, well, man, this is a great deal.
And I think in terms of DFS too, like obviously with the NFL season end, and I think NBA is an all-star break as well. So there might just be like, all right, what can I get in?
That's a good point. I forgot about the NBA.
So there might be more. Even if you go down to like Spieth, like I've been hearing a lot about Spieth. Click Spieth, like.
Yeah. We'll get to some of those. I see some a line up there, Rat Tail. We'll get to that in a sec. Some of these guys we're going to talk about right now. So let's talk. Do you want to talk the whole 9K range at once?
No, let's go to I guess top 3, 95 and above. We got JT, Bryson, and Webb. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
So these are, I've got 2 of the 3, and one of them is one of my highest exposure. You can probably guess.
You're such a tease. I'll just tell you what I got. I'm sure it's going to be similar. So I'm a full fade on Bryson. I'm thinking that's the same as you.
Yeah.
I got JT at 35%, and I think, well, he is my second highest own, and I'm guessing that is the same for you. And oh no, you're a big Webb guy. I got Webb at 15.
So I've got 30 on JT and 35 on Webb. I faded Bryson. I think Bryson's got a decent shot. I think that ownership will be high. Like, he's a great value. If you are going to differentiate in other places, I think Bryson's a good value at 97. I think there's going to be a lot of ownership. I think he's a poor course fit. I think there's other times where I'm going to plug in Bryson. This isn't one for me. So
yeah. I kind of agree. He doesn't fit the mold of kind of the player, I think.
Yeah. It's tough to know, again, what is ownership, because I think that's the general consensus, is that he's not the best course fit here. But he's like these other guys. He's so good that he could compete here. So if 100%. Everyone goes away from it, I would want to be on it.
What did I say on the podcast this past week? His win percentage since the COVID break is 18%, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that's
absolutely crazy. Like he wins at an outstanding clip.
But all of those were courses with long rough.
Yep.
So really that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so JT and Webb are my 2 plays there. I've got a lot.
Don't have to apologize. No, you don't have to say sorry. Sorry. I mean, maybe you're so you're hopping on the sorry train, but
yeah. I'm sorry that you said sorry. Like I just so the rest of the 9Ks, I got a bunch of plays here. I actually ended up cutting one. I feel like you could play this whole range. So we've got Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Finau, Patrick Reed. I think you could play every single one of these guys.
And sorry, going back, Webb was higher than JT for you. Is that right?
Yeah, just slightly.
Yeah. Okay.
Both are heavily owned.
So who did you cut here?
So I cut Victor Hovland. That's one of my hardest cuts of the slate. And then one of my latest cuts was Patrick Reed.
Oh, I forgot Reed is
Reed's at 9.
Yeah, exact. This is kind of scary. I got the exact same cuts, and I don't really like to agree with you that much.
It is disconcerting.
It is concerning. I don't like that at all.
So Morikawa is my other highest owned guy. Webb and Morikawa were my first 2 picks on our pick show. They're the 2 guys I think this is a best course fit for. I have 35 on both of them, and then I have 30 on Cantlay, 30 on Finau, and that's it for me in this range.
I love it, Craig. I love that. I love you went heavy here. I kind of did as well, but more concentrated. So Morikawa kind of FOMO as well with DJ. 10%. Just kind of, I don't like to play that recent narrative because I think their ownership gets bumped, especially with where his price is. But like you said in our pick show, he is maybe the best approach player on the planet right now. So I have 10% Morikawa. Patrick Cantlay, my pick, my one and done. I haven't been shy about it. I know he's going to be chalk. I know that. I'm going overweight. I got 40% Cantlay.
Nice. I like it. I think he's a good person to take a stand on.
The only thing I haven't done yet is I need to check like his Instagram and Getty images to make sure he's there and like healthy. Like I know he
Cantlay?
withdrew,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I will do that. We'll talk about that on our Wednesday show.
I'm assuming part of the reason, like I think that part of the reason he withdrew was because he, to prep for this, to prep for like the coming, championship season. The one thing I want to throw in here, so I have my lowest starting point. I have one where I started with Finau, so it's crammed. It's crammed pretty good with numbers there, and just I think it was Kick said his core two are Neiman and Zalatoris. The Finau one, that's the bottom of it. So it's loaded if you think about those two being your bottom two in the mid to high sevens.
I got one like that. Not those exact plays, but I got one Finau, Berger, Spieth that I kind of like quite a bit. So Finau's an interesting guy. I mean, I feel like people like.
Yeah, sorry, just real quick, because Billy's saying Hovland 25%. I think Hovland's a good play. I like this entire range, and so you kind of have to pick and choose. I think that some people will go away from him from last week, and so if you think that that's an aberration, to me, I really like Morikawa. I really like Cantlay. So it's just you're choosing from a bunch of good options there.
Yeah.
So Finau, you wanted to chat Finau?
Yeah, Finau, a guy that I didn't think I'd be super overweight on when I began kind of researching and building my player pool. But the more I looked at it, 9,100, Tony Finau, a guy that's been on fire recently, and kind of like DJ, if he's on with his irons, he just he's so good at firing at pins and going low, DFS points, all that. I have 35% Finau. He's my second highest own, along with JT.
Yeah, like it. He's 30 for me. Patrick Reed, he was my last. Him and Xander were my last cuts from my player pool. I think he's good value. I think there's so much upside with Reed. If I can find a reason to cut Patrick Reed, I usually do.
I'm kind of the same.
And so from a more practical point of view, I think to me he has the upside. I don't necessarily like him as someone who's like your safe, second or third guy in, because if you have him with your stacking three guys in the 9Ks, I think he could be 40th, but I also think he could win it. So I just which if you're playing in big GPPs, that can be fine, but to me, I like the other guys around. So say comparing him and Cantlay or Finau, I like their upside just as much as Reed. And well, maybe Finau has a tiny bit less win equity, but I like their upside, but I like their floors a lot better too.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, eights.
So can you click on Scotty Scheffler? Just because I don't have it on. So I think this is worth talking about a little bit too. So. There is a narrative. Everyone besides Siwoo Kim has played at least 5 rounds here prior to their win. It's a course where you need to get experience at to get your win. That's been kind of the narrative for a long time. But there's kind of 2 things I think go against that. A, we have some of the youngest golfers we've seen in a long time on the tour with Morikawa, Hovland, Scheffler, that kind of type. And we haven't played a full round here in 2 years. I mean, I think Scheffler might have just been pro in 2019 of March. Hovland wasn't, Morikawa wasn't. So that narrative, I wouldn't buy too much stock into it this year. Yes, you need experience here, but
the reality is most of the time, all the best players are going to be like, you're talking about maybe year to year, there's a tiny little bit of win equity for guys that haven't played more than 5 rounds. So to me, that's just, it's like, well, that's so far. That means,
Yeah.
And I guess it
It's
does
not
speak.
predictive at all.
It's not predictive. I mean, it is a trend until it's proven otherwise. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that these guys are so talented. They can go out there and win. Yeah.
It's kind of like that thing for a while. We had Mike Weir, Bubba Watson, and Phil Mickelson all win the Masters within 10 years. And it's like half the winners over the last 10 years have been left-handed. Like there's something here. I'm like, well, maybe it's just kind of like a statistical anomaly that that happens.
A few of the best golfers in the world are left-handed, more so than there has been in the past.
And they like the course and they play well and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So 8Ks. I actually don't have Scotty Scheffler, that said.
I don't like Reed. He was one of my last cuts. And I see a few people have him here and I completely get it. His talent level is super high. I mean,
and he's come back into good form in the last 3 weeks, I would say, or 3 tournaments.
He does seem a little bit like the tier 2 Rory of like, why can't we get 72 holes of this? Like why can't he put it all together for a tournament? He's gonna win on PGA Tour. He's gonna probably win multiple times. High 8s for him here when I could probably go up to Finau or down to Berger. I just picked those 2 options instead.
Yeah.
That's why.
And maybe if he was priced around Hatton, Spieth, Casey, I might have considered it. It's just it seems a little bit steep. I'm fine with the play. I went, Berger is a guy I went heavy on. I do have some Matsuyama, and so you just kind of have to pick and choose.
Okay, so where are we going from? I'll kind of go quickly through my list of plays, I guess. 85 and up, or what?
Let's do that.
So I got Berger, I got Spieth. I got Spieth this week. I'm hopping on the train. I got some Spieth. Why not?
I think that's what Radtail was saying. He's got him in that lineup he was asking about.
He's also asking Spieth or M. A little bit.
Adam's like, why not both?
Yeah, why not both? And then I got some Hatton. I think Hatton is criminally underpriced.
Yeah, so for me, Berger, Hideki, I don't have Spieth, but I do have Hatton. I have heavy.
You don't have Hatton?
I do have Hatton. I've got 25%. 25% on Hideki and Hatton, and 30 on Berger. I think Spieth is a fine.
25% on Hideki?
Yeah. I feel like Hideki is an upside play. We saw a good putter from him last week. I think so many guys, they have accuracy concerns off the tee that can just be brutal here. He's got one of the best course histories. Yeah. I don't think he's going, like, I think the Hideki is bad right now. Like if Hideki was on form, he's priced up in the mid to high 9s probably in this field. So we're getting, like, I don't know, it just seems a little, I mean, I guess I get that Spieth is really showing some form of recent, but Hideki's ball striking is still so good. We saw a putter from him last week. I just think that there is the potential. He's got a couple top 20s in a row. I think the Hideki's bad narrative is overrun how bad he has actually been, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree. The problem with Hideki,
but that said, he's a risky play.
He is a risky play. I mean, drafting ball strikers that can give you fits watching their shot track. I guess we get every shot live, so you get to watch every Hideki.
I don't need to just watch his shot tracker of him missing putts. I can watch him miss the putts.
You can watch him miss those putts. It scares me, and especially the fact that I think he's going to be fairly highly owned.
Maybe on that note, not a good week to roster Grill.
Yeah.
So sorry, Hideki, you have him or no?
I do not. So, and one of the biggest things, like, I had to find pockets this week where to be different. I feel like.
So you thought Spieth was the way to do that?
No, I did. I think. Well, I don't have much here, anyways. I think.
Yeah.
I
except Hatton. You have lots of Hatton. You said.
Lots of Hatton, but I think Hideki might be decently owned. Oh, this is an interesting question in this range. From 15K Dolphin.
Mm-hmm. Of one of those?
Are we talking finishing position or DFS points? I'm being cheeky now.
So, and this is where I do feel like Hatton's pricing is potentially, like, I think he has potentially as much upside as anyone. I think Berger maybe has the safest floor, it's kind of steadiest. I think all of them are good plays. I don't have Spieth. I have the other three, but that's just because I expect Spieth's ownership to outpace his value at the price.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Whereas the other guys, I think that, and you're saying Hideki's ownership might creep up there. Yeah, and Steven Davidson, I totally get that. I think that if you don't want to jump on the Matsuyama train, then he's a good showdown play for sure. I mean, his 63, was it 63 he shot at opening round here last year? I think that's enough to give you a good idea of how good he is as a showdown play. Honestly, I think all of those are good plays, Dauphin.
I would go Hatton. I think Berger coming off the win. Don't know. Spieth popularity, just general public popularity, and then Decky. There's the narrative of kind of tying the course record last year. He is kind of turning that corner. I think ownership might be high because of those reasons. Hatton.
I also think if it's a big contest, like if it's a Millie Maker or something with 100,000 people in it, and you have potentially any other chalky plays, going Hatton and leaving, like if that's money left over and you're leaving money on the board, that's not the worst thing because it makes it all the more likely that you are going to be unique.
100%. So at 2 points there, I did want to go talk about my ownership. So I have Berger 15, Spieth 15, and then I have Hatton 25. I don't think I actually said that, so I'll get that out there.
So you're just sprinkling them. You're just sprinkling them all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, 15% seemed safe enough for Spieth, having a roller coaster Spieth. Berger, you kind of convinced me on the pick show. Apparently, you didn't play all my picks. I played
Speaking
yours.
of which, should we get into the rest of the eights
No,
here?
but I want to talk about that. We have a ton of contests, so like we're ramped up because it's the fifth major. It's the players. We got a Millie Maker. One of my strategies, especially if you're playing chalky plays, leave 300, 200, 300 or more salary on the board, and you're way more likely to be unique.
Mm-hmm. It really becomes like, especially I think the Millie Maker, because so much of the value of that tournament is in the single top spot. So if you're playing that, you're playing to be the first of 150,000 people.
Yes.
Whereas other ones where it's flatter payout structures, a smaller pool of entrants, it's really not as important, but it's something to definitely think about.
So I guess as well, because kind of we have new people watching. My strategy is I throw a single dart at that kind of big GBP, the Millie Maker. I can't 150 max it. I'm not going to. I'm going to play a single dart, best lineup. That's it. I'm going to max out at 20 max, do a couple single entries, probably play one tiers. That's my strategy. We got a question on YouTube a while back of like what contest to select. And I don't know if you agree with me, Craig, but I would say the contest that you can max entry, like whoever can put in the most lineups will have an advantage.
No, I don't necessarily think so. I do think that, so in other sports where there's correlations, and you can, you're stacking quarterbacks and receivers or people playing against each other in a high scoring game in basketball, that type of thing. I think in golf, you don't necessarily have an advantage, but then you have to be willing. So say you're going to put a single entry into something that's a 150 max, you have to be willing to make plays that you like. If you treat it like a single entry and that you have to be super safe and almost chalky in another sense with all your picks, then chances are less, you still have to take the risk as if you are multi-entering, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, the reason I say advantage is because you can have a core, you can have Thomas, Cantlay, Webb, and then you can sprinkle off all these other sleepers, and then you're more likely to get 6 of 6, or you're going to get, with 150 entries, you're going to get 6 of 6 through, while your single entry might not necessarily. So that's why there's kind of an advantage there. But I completely agree. Your best, you hand build is going to be your best lineup. Who you like the best.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that I prefer to put in more, I prefer to do 20 max because I can I have a really hard time cutting down to 28 people this week. So to try to cut down to 6, I'm like, well, I like Hatton and I like Hideki and I like Berger, So it's just it's sort of just that's what I enjoy doing, and then I enjoy following it and then seeing if any of my ones happen to spike and be the one that wins it. Anyways, I think we've dwelled on that long enough.
For sure.
Let's get into this lower eights. This is where I think you're going to be upset because I'm not playing one of your picks. Sung J.M. didn't make the cut for me, but we got Paul Casey, we've got Sung J.M., we've got Matthew Fitzpatrick, we've got Adam Scott, and Jason Day.
Interesting kind of group here. A lot of course history kind of group, a lot of form. We got Casey, Fitzpatrick with arguably great form. Scott, Day have some of the best histories here. So who did you leave out anybody? Who did you leave out?
I have 2 plays. I've got Paul Casey and Matthew Fitzpatrick. So, I just bracketed Sung Jae, really.
So you have Paul Casey and Fitzpatrick. Interesting. Fitzpatrick was one of my last cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time playing him. You told me to play him in round 4 last week, and he did well for me.
He doesn't have a great course history. I think he has decent form coming in. To me, I think he fits the course well when he is playing well. I think, I think he's a gamer.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I have Paul Casey, only 10%. Sung J.M. 20%. Going back to our friend Rattail John.
Our good old friend Rattail.
If I was to, I'm going Sung Jae over Spieth.
Really? Even with $300?
Even with $300, heads up, I feel like it's a safer play.
I would potentially disagree. I would potentially go Spieth over Sung Jae. I don't think I'm as high on Sung Jae. I don't think I'm as high as you. I don't think I'm as high on Sung Jae as you are this week.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No Fitzpatrick. I have Adam Scott. I got 15% Adam Scott. I was feeling Adam Scott, and I got no.
He's got a great course history. I just have concerns about his game right now. He's not. There's nothing about it. It's not that he's explicitly playing poorly. It's more just. And the thing is, he's got upside. It's just I
don't know how much upside he has.
A little spark missing.
There is a little spark missing. I completely agree.
And just real quick, Billy Hauser, that's an awesome place. It doesn't surprise me that it was a 50 person split because the Hero Challenge, it's like a 20-person field or something, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not entirely surprising. Okay, so yeah, that's it for you. You don't have Jason Day, I'm assuming?
Also, I want to say great point by Peck. A single entry won the Millie Maker. Has won 3 of the last 5 contests on DraftKings. That kind of talks to your not really an advantage for.
Yeah, I think it is very much an advantage in other sports, but because golf doesn't have correlations built into it and those type of things. I mean, besides maybe like styles of play, like bombers and that type of thing.
Yeah,
but you can make that just as easily with.
But Rattail John, I feel like you want to play Spieth. You're saying Spieth or Hatton now. Let's play Spieth. I mean, I would go Hatton. I'm going Hatton.
I would go Hatton between the two of them, but that's just me. If you like Spieth and your gut is telling you Spieth, then just roll with Spieth. I really like Hatton. I think he was hilarious. I finally watched the bloopers of that Angry Golfers video.
Yes.
It was good.
Yes.
Okay.
Revokes is right. M does have one of the best putting forms coming in. I
think it's his ball striking that, because I was looking at him as a play, and I think it's his recent ball striking that was turning me off a bit from him. But his putter is very hot. This, I think, is what caused me problems.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for me with him. I mean, like I said, I only got 20%. It's not a huge investment. But I feel like he is one of those guys. His long-term form with a hot putter.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of is a crossroads this week.
Yeah, and I mean he's almost rested. Like he took a week off a few weeks ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now he's okay, so sorry, real quick, because I don't think we talked about him. Both of us are playing Paul Casey.
Yeah, great form.
Yeah,
Great
I
form.
really like he doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at cost adjusted anything, but his form is good and it's good in the right ways. It's not like he's just been hot with a putter. Like he just looks it passes the eye test. He's doing a lot of things well. Okay, high 7K range. This is where it gets spicy for me. I think the 7K range is the most interesting thing about. I really feel like, to me, I love the 9K range. I love the 7K range.
Okay, let's talk at 79 to 77. How many plays do you got in that area?
Only 3, but I had some tough cuts.
I only have 3 too, and this is my actually. I think I said Fitzpatrick was my toughest cut. No, Tommy Fleetwood was my toughest cut
Oh, so I
for
kept him.
sure.
I kept Tommy Fleetwood. Cameron Smith was one of my toughest. I see William in the chat. Willie Neal is talking about him. I really like Cameron Smith. I think I actually am going to talk myself into playing him if I talk too much, but he is doing so. Like, typically I think of him more as like someone to play at a very, very difficult course as opposed to a place like TPC where you're looking to make birdies. But I think he is playing so good with his approach play more of recent.
Well, yeah,
That
I was gonna say click on him here and let's take a look.
like his approach game has been very good. But that's not what we've seen from him in the longer term. So I kind of tried to convince myself that it's just it's just the noise, and he's had a few really good ball striking meets with his approach, and it's going to come back down to earth. But I think he's a fine play. I had to make cuts around here, and
Yeah,
I kept Tommy Fleetwood in over him.
he was. So I think we had the exact same kind of internal conflict here, and he was. At the beginning of the day, I did not think I'd.
If there's any problems, I am getting an error message from my broadcaster software here.
I think we might have just jumped here, Craig, but it looks like on YouTube we're good.
Give us a thumbs up if you guys have us and you can hear us and we're still going, because I'm
Yep.
getting
That was me playing it.
some error messages.
I think we're good. Let us know if we're not though. But I think we're good.
So sorry, Cam Smith.
So yeah, so like I said, I had to get weird places. Fleetwood has very good course history. So I thought there might be more ownership there than Cameron Smith, who just kind of he doesn't seem like that sexy play. I mean, they both got that long hair. You know, I'm more Cameron Smith than I am Fleetwood, but I think Fleetwood might have more ownership, and I pivoted to Cameron Smith, who I really like his game. Let's rock that original Penguin on the weekend. Like he's just been playing well. He's been playing well.
Yeah, I like
Thanks,
him.
guys.
I'm also a fan. But so I didn't play him, obviously. He was a tough cut for me. Fleetwood, I kept. So just real quick, I've got 3 plays in this area: Fleetwood, Louis Oosthuizen, and I kept Neiman as well.
Yeah, my 2 are Louis Oosthuizen and Neiman 78, 77.
So
Exactly.
essentially, we're just different. We flipped on Cam Smith and Fleetwood. I just feel like I kept trying to talk myself out of playing Fleetwood, but there's just something that is telling me to do it, and so this is a gut play. I think he's got a good course history. I think he has finally shown flashes of decent form. So I'm just kind of. I probably am a bit of a Fleetwood fan, and so I made the play. I don't think his ownership's going to be crazy, but I don't know.
He is one of those guys where I can have 0 DFS ownership. He can go and win, and I'll still like be happy losing all my money for the week. Like good job, Tommy. Like you got it done. Like I'm happy. You've been there for a while. Way to get that big win.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like I could try to explain. It's just hard for me to articulate. Like I feel like there is value there beyond just I'm a fan of his. So I don't want it to be that like I just like the guy.
Well, sorry. Click on his name real quick.
He's got two straight top 10s in this tournament. He's got a top 10 at the API. He's shown good ball striking, not necessarily off the tee, but with approach. His putter It was bad at concession, but it's been good. I mean, I guess RSM's a long time ago. I don't have the European Tour stuff in here, but it was.
Well, I think if you look at the annual strokes gained, it kind of tells the story too. So he's been really good tee to green total for 18, 19, pretty good 2020. It seems like a little COVID slump, but Arnold Palmer Invitational gives a lot of turning the corner, like a lot of, okay, he's coming back to old Tommy Fleetwood type form. So I agree. It was the hardest.
I like the take from Andrew Hudson, Brett hoisting the trophy. That would be cool to see, especially since I decided to play Fleetwood and you did not. But maybe we should have a Cameron Smith Fleetwood wager. Although I feel like I don't really want to cheer against Cameron Smith.
I don't really want to.
Maybe we'll find someone down further. So Oosthuizen, the withdrawal last week doesn't scare me. I think he is a great. I think if his ownership is depressed because of that, I think that's awesome value. Like, I think he's good value even if his ownership isn't depressed. But if that gets him down into single digits, I'm gonna be loving 100%. That.
100%. So yeah, I got Cameron Smith 20%, Louis Oosthuizen 20%, and Neiman 15%. Before we get to Neiman, Rose is a cut.
I've got 20% on all three of them.
Nice.
Rose is out for me too. And same. So we went 77 to 79 there. Those are my only three plays. I also cut Horschel and Kokrak.
No Horschel, no Kokrak. Willie Z.
Okay, so we're back into my range here. So Neiman, I think Neiman and Zalatoris can be awesome values here. I think that their ownership's potentially going to be very high though. So I mean, I don't think we need to dwell on Neiman. Both of us like him. I think ownership is going to be the concern. If you're playing him, make sure you're not chalky everywhere is one thing.
Yeah.
Zalatoris, I have him. I think he's a great play.
We've had a few comments. Homa Zalatoris, concerns with how many events they played in a row.
Okay. No, Zalatoris is a golfing robot that just hits balls and wins, or gets top 20 finishes. Yes, it is a developing concern. I think until we would see back, like I think both of them after this week will likely take time. I think Homa will for sure. Homa's actually even played an extra week on Zalatoris. I have both of these guys in my pool this week though. I think Zalatoris, I just still think is incredible value at 7,600. Homa, I think his form is so good right now, I can't avoid him.
So Zalatoris is like the skinny. Is it Ivan Drago from Rocky IV? He's just a machine. He's not a boxing machine. He's a golf machine.
Yeah. He's that
created by the USSR.
He's that skinny golf machine.
He's a skinny Drago.
Yeah, no, I love the game. I love the guy's game. What was that? Justin Ray just tweeted. There's 3 guys who are in the top 20 for driving distance and strokes gain approach.
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, Will Zalatoris. Anytime there's 3 guys and the other 2 are DJ and Rahm, you're in good company.
Yeah. We do not have ownership numbers. Rattle John, this is from what we think, from what we're hearing. I think all ownership numbers are behind a paywall. Everything we offer is free, but anything to add there, Craig?
No, that's pretty. I mean, I feel like you start to hear Adam has all these little birdies out there. He tells me about them, and you start to develop feelings for who might be higher owned. I think this is the kind of week where there's so much talent here that it does spread out. Besides the guys who I think you get a feeling are going to be very heavily owned, like I think Neiman will be heavily owned. I think Zalatoris will. I think there's a few guys up high like Webb, Morikawa. It sounds like JT might be, but I think some people
Cantling's
also
are going to be super chalk.
Yeah. I think some people are a little bit afraid of the driver with JT, so maybe that does keep it down. But I think Webb and Colin, especially, you hear a lot of chatter about.
And Answer's going to be one of the highest owned guys, I think, this week.
Yeah. So this range here, I have tons of plays through the rest of the 7Ks. I love this range. I think you could do very well to start in the somewhere between 73 to 76 with your lowest owned guy, and you can build awesome lineups with that.
Which is exactly what I said in our Discord. Our Discord link is below as well. Lots of good chatter, especially in tournament beforehand as well, though. Lots of good kind of passing around, good community there. So why don't because I don't have too much. Or let's go 76, 74. I can tell you the plays I got and then what's with the
sorry,
smirk?
I'm just smirking at Steven Davidson. Can I get a Griot amen? Sorry, yes, go ahead. Let me know your plays.
Zalatoris, I got 10%. I couldn't pass him up, but I like people with, I don't know. Okay, yeah, 10%. Answer, I got 25%. Probably going to be overweight.
I don't even know if you will. Yeah, I think you will. 25, I think you'll be overweight.
I think he will be one of the top 5 owned guys, but Answer 25%. Obviously, with lineups with Answer, either salary on the board or getting weird somewhere else.
So why do you like the Answer play?
I feel like it's a perfect fit for him. I mean, he's what was he, 12th in his one appearance here. I think that even in the round in 2020, he played well. Doesn't have to go long enough to see. He's accurate. Everything, he kind of checks all the boxes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think it's trying to articulate why, even though he's chalky, why it is that we want to buy into him. It's because we think the course fits him. What he does well is what this course asks of you.
Yeah, exactly. The profile of him seems to fit the profile of people that do well here, and he's proven that with even one round. One round, to me, compared to Zalatoris, it's a little bit.
And so I would say I think Zalatoris is a more talented golfer. I think Answer 100%. Is a much better fit. Like Zalatoris has a lot of power that isn't necessarily useful for. I mean, obviously you can never go wrong having that in your bag, but there's a lot of ways that it's not necessarily as useful here as it is at other courses.
Yeah, Miami Mike, I kind of actually completely agree with you. I can't seem to ever get an Answer right, but maybe I'm wrong again this week. And he just is that one of the guys for me. Okay, so moving down 75, 74, I got Sergio Garcia. Talked about him on our sleeper show. I got 20%. Not hugely overextended there, but I got 20% Sergio.
Not 50% this time.
Not 50%. Henley and Connors, I got 10% each of them. And those are my plays, 76 to 74.
Okay, so you said no Homa?
No Homa.
Okay, so I went on Homa. I like him. Obviously, I'm a Homa fan, but I think I actually haven't been playing him tournament long for a couple weeks. I was playing him while he was doing very poorly, but I just can't ignore the form anymore. I've gotten decent returns from him in some showdowns. I just think that he's really playing good golf, and so I think that there's no reason to. And I think he's a decent fit too. So I'm gonna play it. Molinari, I avoided. I think he's a decent contrarian play. I don't want to touch it.
I think he is actually a decent contrarian play as well.
He's a good one to think about if you're a lot of these other guys who are chalky. You want to play, then I think he's a good one to plug in there with that'll have low ownership and could be very good value for his price.
And I actually feel the same way about Harris English as well, but I didn't get there. I had to make cuts.
Me as well. He has a very bad course history, but I think he's a different player than he was, over the past few years. But so I didn't get there. So okay. So Homa, Answer at 75. Russell Henley, 74. Corey Connors, 74. That's it. I faded Sergio. I faded Leishman. Someone had brought up Leishman earlier. I just am not there. I think I think he is getting back into decent form. Yeah, it was Andrew Hudson who had brought him up earlier. I just am not there. I think there's other courses that fit him better than this.
So, okay, this is what I said on our Discord. From 76 to 72 is like the ball striker extraordinaire. Guys we've been talking about for a long time. Connors, Burns, Tringali, Henley, all these guys that seem to be ready to pop soon.
Like, there's a lot of good players.
Or I put Ortiz in another bucket because he has a recent win.
Yeah, okay.
But these guys, I feel like a win is on the horizon. I've talked a lot about that on Wednesday shows. So Henley, Connors absolutely still do have. Sorry, I'm going on a rant here, and I feel like I'm going down lower in the 7Ks. But
Yeah. No, it's fine. I just so the other thing on that note, I think in this range here, you can make good arguments for and against everyone. And so this is where also
yes,
I have lots of
yes,
plays that, I'm up in the 30-35% at my plays high up. I'm down
yeah,
in the 15 to 20% in this range, and I'm sprinkling it a little bit more widely. I agree. No one
yeah.
is talking about Ortiz, which could be a little bit scary. I don't love the fit with his approach play, but I think that is one of those things that just because I don't think he'll necessarily have the opportunity to gain the strokes off the tee, he has, like at Houston. But if he can show up with approach play, so
I yeah, I think he's absolutely in play. Again, if you go Webb, Cantlay, like those chalky guys up top, pivoting to Ortiz from a Henley or from an
Henley,
answer is
Answer, I think are
exactly the
going to
play
be
to
very
make.
highly owned in the same price range, and so yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a good play. So yeah, Ricky, I don't want anything to do with it personally.
yeah. He made a cut for me last week. That's fine.
So
Nothing
rest of the
else.
7Ks, I've got tons of plays down here. So do you want to do yours first?
Sure. So I finished with Corey Connors. So from 73 to 7,000, I actually have quite a few plays as well. There's a ton of guys here. I mean, this is a talented field. It's one of the most competitive fields in all of golf. Like, there's a lot of good players. So going contrarian here is probably a good thing to do. I went Kevin Na, I went Ryan Palmer, I went Cameron Davis, Christian Bezuidenhout, Alex Noren, and Chris Kirk.
Okay, we're similar in a lot. There's a couple you have that I don't, and there's a few
But
that I have.
I
Yeah,
need
go
to get
ahead.
something off my chest.
Yeah.
If Burns or Tringali win this week when I don't roster them, when I've been playing them for a half a year, I'm going to be super pissed. I like
Well,
if
that's
they.
your own fault, I think. So let me start off with mine. I've got Burns.
What's going
so
on, Barry?
so yeah, I've got Burns. I did not play Na, just because I don't know. I wanted to play Sam Burns. I don't know why you decided not to.
Well,
Uh,
okay. Here's the thing. Okay, so we got Connors, Burns, Bubba, Lanto, like popular guys, and there's like little Kevin Na, and I'm like, give me Kevin Na.
yeah.
That's where
No,
I got
I
the
get
little
it.
bit weak.
So
Give me Kevin Na.
I think I went with a lot of the more popular plays here. I've got Burns, I've got Lanto. Someone had brought him up. Billy Hauser was talking about Lanto. I like him. I think he's a good play. Who do we have? Burns, Lanto, Kisner. I've got Kisner here. I think it's a
Yeah, I
good
like that.
course
I like that.
fit. Um, Tringali, I don't know why you got away from him. I think it's a good course fit.
Click on his name. Click on his name here. Brilliant. All green. I don't know why.
just decided that this week then it makes a lot of sense that you don't want anything to do with it anymore. You've been on your Tringali like soapbox for the last month.
If Tringali wins, oh man, I'm gonna be in a dark place.
Yeah, so
If
I
Cleveland wins, I'll
love
be
this
happy.
range. I absolutely love this range. I think for my tickets, this is where it's going to be made or broken.
Yeah.
So Tringali, I do have Cam Davis. I think I have a Cam Davis Sam Burns, which it was a ticket that killed me last week, but I think I stacked those two on one just to see if I could catch lightning in a bottle. Cam Tringali, Cam Davis, Bezuidenhout, who is it?
We
Someone,
had some
Billy
Bez talk
Hauser,
up
Griffin
there.
and Bezuidenhout. I totally agree. I think those guys are great plays. Chris Kirk is my last one.
Yeah. Yeah. No Ryan Palmer.
No Ryan Palmer. I don't think he's a bad play. But, I mean, you heard how many guys I have here.
And sorry, no Siwoo Kim. Is that right?
No Siwoo Kim. I think he's going to be popular. I don't
Yeah.
mind him. I don't love the form. I think he's got a bad recent. Yeah, he's got some ugly recent forms. But I think he's a good fit.
I love the Tringali takes are all over the place, and I love it. I'm here for it. I love it.
Uh, yeah. I only have 15% on him.
Tringali.
Uh, so let's talk this range. Nah, if the
I got
putter gets
15.
hot, anything can happen.
I got 15% now. So yeah, that's the one thing I talked about on our sleeper show is it's weird his ball striking has been a lot better than his putting recently, and that doesn't compute if you look far side of the screen with his long-term form. So again, trying to catch a guy like Sanjay at crossroads, maybe the ball striking and putting will come together at the same time.
Yeah. I'm going to get to that Poulter question in a second. Bubba, I don't like Bubba at this course.
No.
I think it's a bad fit. Palmer,
I like other players.
You played him. I don't remember even why I didn't play him.
I actually love Palmer in this range because I think this range is littered with young ball strikers with tons of talent. And maybe
you take an old one with none. Just kidding.
Ouch. So I go Kevin Na and Ryan Palmer.
Yeah, the one thing I feel, and maybe this is just in my mind, but I think of Palmer as a distance guy. I think he is a good ball striker regardless of distance, but I think of him as someone that has distance. I could be wrong on that, but that's just what my gut is telling me. I don't mind the play. I just went elsewhere.
BY, you know what? I didn't go that crazy this week. Smaller, same size parallel pool. Cantlay. Of all people, Cantlay is the highest owned. Only 20% Sergio.
I think Burrow might be right. Palmer might be going swimming this week. Although I found, did you see this video of Poulter? PGA Tour posted it. Of
the guy that dove in there?
Yeah, his physiotherapist jumped in there to get a ball that he threw in the water, or like accidentally threw in the water, it looked like. Anyways.
Oh yeah, so, he picked it up and then like scooped it back.
Yeah. And had to finish the hole with it. So Kisner, I like Kisner. I think his ownership's not going to be as crazy as, a Cam Davis or a Lonto Griffin. He's just steady. I think he does well on shorter courses.
Yeah, I like it.
Good putter.
I didn't get there, but I like it.
Yeah. Tringali, he's polarizing. I don't think we need to spend any more time on Tringali than we already have. Cooch, no thanks. Lee Westwood, I think his ownership would be higher than it should be.
Recency bias for sure.
Recency bias. I like him more on a course like Bay Hill than I do on this course.
Yeah.
Lowry again. I don't think it's a great fit. Cam Davis.
Lowry's been in bad form, but
yeah,
a guy I would like to see up there. It'd be good.
Cam Davis. You didn't play any Cam Davis or Sam Burns?
No, I got no.
Oh, you do have Davis. Okay.
I can't quit Cam Davis. I can put Sam Burns and Tringali on the sideline for a week. I can't quit Cam Davis. I got 20% Cam Davis.
Gotcha. One's your recreational drug. One's your dependency.
Cam Davis, like you see these lineups. I feel like especially this week, like floating around Twitter of like a play from the 2019 or the 2020 players of like, I played like Hovland and like all these guys. And you're like, how were they that cheap? I feel like if you look back in 2 years and you're like, I played Cam Davis at 7,100. Like that's crazy cheap. Like he's so talented. I feel like he's kind of that guy.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I really like him. I really like his game. I think there's a few guys down in this range that could be that guy. I think Sam Burns is one of them. I don't know why you don't have a single shot at him. Anyway,
I'm so overweight on Sam Burns.
Christian Bezuidenhout. So I feel like he is a great play.
But chalk.
He is chalky. I don't know if he's going to be that chalky. Maybe it's just me.
I think he absolutely is. Great recent performance. I think he shot 64 or 5 here in his one round.
I think there's a lot of people that like the ball strikers and hope that they have good putting weeks as opposed to a guy like Bez. Like that's the one reason that I think his ownership may stay lower is those it almost like that. And I like that a lot, but I think it can be people can get too deep into the Moneyball approach and they ignore the guys like a Bezuidenhout or a I'll find another way to pronounce it next time. You'll just wait and see. Or like a Kevin Na, maybe even. Like those guys get left behind because of the ball striker. Or a Poulter. Yeah, so Poulter, he was actually a later cut for me. I like his recent form. I don't like his approach game. It stands out as it's out of form. It's out of sync with what he has regularly done. I didn't look deep enough because I was looking for reasons to cut guys from this area because I have so many plays.
Yeah.
I didn't look into his Euro stats and see how he has been doing beyond his PGA stuff in terms of approach. So if you do want to play him, that would be the one thing I would maybe look into, because other than that, he hasn't missed a cut in a while, at least on the PGA side. His other scoring stats are good, so it's something to look into if you do want to play him. Rest of this range, you have Noren. He was the guy I didn't have.
Yeah, so Benny Ann, I was between Benny Ann and Noren, and it went Noren for just 10%. If you click on Noren, I feel like we've seen some of the better Noren than we have in the last 2 years. Like, he hasn't been very good recently. Good course history.
That's the
I only have
Noren you want to
10%.
take home to meet the parents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a contrarian play down here.
Yeah.
So I got 10% to mix up some lineups.
Well, he's talent. I mean, that's the thing about this. There's so much talent down here. Kirk, I think, is going to be super chalky, but I think he just makes so much sense. I can't get away from him. He's the highest I have. I only have 20%, but it's the highest I have of guys down in this range. My three sleepers, Answer, Connors, and Kirk, are my three highest owned guys below Zalatoris.
I got Kirk. I got 20% Kirk. I think he's playing really well. I think he will be chalky. So again, where I rostered him, I got him elsewhere. I got weird elsewhere.
Okay,
what's up?
Why
are you shaking your head?
Oh no, I'm just PY is speaking my language. We're just finishing up. If you guys have anyone in the 7K range that you want us to look at that we haven't, I only have 2 plays in the 6s, so I'll let you know if.
I think the 6s is very concerning. There's a lot of Johnny Vegas talk. There's a lot of Putnam talk. A lot of Gim talk. So I think we need to talk about those 3 for sure.
Well, I want to talk about Gim because the 2 guys I have. So speaking of a lot of talk, I think Neesmith will be popular. He's 67. He let me do some fun things with lineups, but then Gim. So Gim is 62. Man, I feel like it.
Barry, I can't. So yeah, your Hoffman did great last week. I don't know if I'll take Burns for his bet. I don't know. Let me think about that. I'm not.
Take it over to Discord.
Yeah, we'll talk in Discord.
I think Rat Tail. I think it was Rat Tail asking about the Discord link. Yes, it should be below.
It should be the first link.
If it's not there, we will make sure it's posted.
It is right there. It should be right there.
I just think Gim. It let me do some fun things with lineups. If he makes a cut, if he gets a top 25. I just think the people he's priced around, I think he should be priced 65, 66, somewhere around there.
It let me go like DJ Rom or Rom Xander, and then have a pretty confident lineup throughout.
Yeah, so I only have those 2 in the 6Ks. But that's because I kept 14 guys in the 7K range in my pool. I just had to make hard cuts.
So you'd Gim and who else?
Neesmith.
Keegan. I did not play Keegan this week, but I understand it. I was there last week. I can't go back-to-back weeks. Maybe that's just a bias. I feel like there's going to be chalk, and I feel like you need to get different in the 6Ks. I'm mostly concerned about Vegas and Putnam. But my plays, let me get into my plays first. I got Zach Johnson at 6,800. I really like that play. I got Matthew Neesmith. He was on our sleeper show. Mackenzie Hughes at 6,600. James Hahn at 65. And Doug Gim.
James Hahn actually was one of the guys I was looking at for a little while. Mackenzie Hughes, you're such a homer. I love it.
I'm not a homer. I'm not a homer at all. Do I look like Kevin?
No, I mean, he's just a good Canadian boy. It's a good play. I like the play. Well, sorry. Start from the top again.
Zach Johnson, 68.
Okay. Next.
I mean, just a veteran that seems.
Yeah, he's got a good course history. Cut the last 2, but
Harmon.
Further back you go, he's got a good course history. He hasn't missed a cut since the PGA Championship. I have no problem with the Zach Johnson play.
I'm not gonna play Zach Johnson at 7,400, but if I can get him at 68 as the last guy in, like,
Yeah.
sure, I'll take
Zach
a
Johnson.
there.
What was the next one? Neesmith?
Matthew Neesmith, we both talked about, so I think we're both high there. Ball striking.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people don't go there too much because he missed the cut last week. Mackenzie Hughes, 66.
Yeah.
If you could click on him real quick.
The one thing that's concerned me a bit is his ball striking. His putting's been awesome as usual. I mean, the thing is, he does it without ball striking a lot of the time. But so if his ball striking does have a really on week, then it can just pop. But that is the one reason I stayed away from him this week.
So I think he's turned a corner in his career.
I think so too.
I think that's evident in the 2020 stats rather than the 2021. But the fact that he made cuts here in 17 and 18,
I think place finish, that's not bad.
Leads well to like him as a evolved golfer can do even better here. Like I think that shows a course fit without being that next step of a golfer yet.
Yeah. Just real quick, Mike, we're gonna set up a listener league on DK. We want to make sure that it's low rake though, because if we're gonna set up a league for listeners, we want to make sure it's not the same rake that you're gonna be paying for any other contest. So it's something we're looking into.
We'll ask in the Discord what you guys want to do. If you want to do winner take all, top three, whatever it is.
Yeah. Just real quick, there's a few questions. Oh, sorry. Do you want to finish yours and then we'll go to questions?
Yeah. James Hahn.
James Hahn. I like James Hahn here. I think it's a good fit.
Yeah.
And just a good price. He's been playing really good this year.
Yeah, he can pop.
Yeah.
He can pop. So I'll take the chance. And then Doug Im. I got 10% Doug Im.
Who doesn't? I mean, everyone wants to get on that.
Who doesn't?
So real quick, someone had mentioned Dauphin is mentioning Harmon. I love it. He was one of my. He's Harmon. 69. He was one of my later cuts from the pool. I think he's a very. Like he's got a top 10 here last time it was played here. I think he fits the course so well. I think it asks exactly what he has in a golf game. I had to make cuts. I couldn't play everyone I wanted to. So I did. If he actually top 10s this week, I'm gonna be a little choked because I'm on him so often.
Yeah, he's like your Burns for me. Like you've been playing him consistently for a while.
Yeah. Stuart Sink, I think is a good play. He's way down there, isn't he?
I think that's a pretty savvy play. I do.
What's his price? Do you remember?
So slow 62. Down a little bit here. Let's talk 62.
I like that play. I think he's got potential. I mean, he makes a cut, he gets top 20. I think you're getting awesome value there, which is possible with Stuart Sink. I didn't get there myself.
Jonathan Vegas. Click on Jonathan Vegas for a sec.
What's his price? Oh, yeah.
He's getting a lot of talk, and he has that high finish in 2019. I guess high finish at the Puerto Rico Open. He seems risky play. Like, risky at higher ownership, like a 7, 8, 9% owned Vegas.
Yeah, my biggest problem with him is I think, and maybe this is me, but I think of him more as like a power. Like he's long off the tee. He's not necessarily super accurate off the tee.
If it was the Canadian Open, yeah, plug in Vegas. But
I don't think good course history. Like he was third last time here. He was second in his last start. I think there's a lot of reasons to like it. I'm not going there myself. I think he is very volatile. I think that. Yes. I think that he can show up and get a high finish in a strong field, and I think the problem is that happened last time they had a tournament at this course, and it happened recently. And so because of that, I think his ownership may potentially outpace. Like if you look at it, he's got a second place here in the Puerto Rico Open, but he doesn't have a lot aside from that. So I'm not saying like it's definitely a high upside GPP play, but it's one that like it's risky. I think that's as straightforward. It's very high risk, high reward.
Yeah, I agree. Let's scroll up a little bit to Putnam because Putnam is getting a ton of chatter.
Do you know his price?
Yeah, down 63. A ton of chatter. We saw a few good finishes, a lot of make cuts in a row.
I'm cool with it.
I
I'm totally cool with it.
I don't think you want to play someone that's over 10% owned under 6,500.
No, I mean, I
Or do so.
agree. So Revokes is saying some things about how good like he bogey free all rounds at the Waste Management, Puerto Rico tough conditions. Like his results are awesome. His
Yes,
play
I agree.
has
I
been
agree.
awesome. The one concern I mean, we don't have putting stats from Puerto Rico, but you look at his putting over that period, like he's a really good putter, but even that is almost unsustainable. Like the rate he was going is unsustainable.
Yeah.
It's does that regress, and if so, what does that regress back to? Like if he is gaining still a stroke around putting, then that's pretty good.
I should say that it's purely ownership. He's getting he's being talked about a lot. It's an ownership thing for me.
Yeah, but I'm fine with the play, even with ownership. The one guy I took a couple, I think only two. Yeah, I have 10% on Gim. I wanted to go. I didn't want to go this deep because I feel like there's
Yeah.
there's so many people who are going to be fighting to make the cut here that it's really hard to do. So I think Andrew Putnam is a good play. I'm just not making it. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, his putter's been absolutely scorching hot. If that continues, you're going to be happy, I think.
Yeah.
Billy Hauser Gim price was 6,200. Griot has been talked about a little bit. Do you want to get to Griot next?
Griot.
What's his price?
I think he's high sixes.
Higher than that?
Like any of these ball strikers, you can absolutely plug them in any week because they can pop. Look at his off the tee and approach stats for his career. They're green throughout. His last Arnold Palmer T21, Puerto Rico T11. Good. I mean, his stroke gain here 0.62 at the kind of bottom corner there. Sure. I mean, yeah, it's a ball striker. He's a ball striker. I think it's a fine play. 6,700. I just went Neesmith instead.
Sorry, I'm just reading questions to catch our next one. Griot, to me, it's very straightforward. His ball striking's awesome. Do you do you trust the putter, or like not even trust? Do you want to take a chance on the putter? Do you want to take? He has the upside. He has the downside. His ball striking's like it's honestly it's the same thing that we always see from Griot. He has tons of upside.
I
don't really have a whole lot more of this.
I just don't. I'm not playing him this week. I had to make cuts.
I think it's a fine play. I think it's sort of the opposite of Putnam. The ball striking is very hot all the time with Griot, and you just have to hope that he makes the putts that he should make, and that doesn't always happen. Damon, he is someone who just seems to be plummeting down the slate in terms of price. He does seem to be lost right now. And he should be a good course fit here. He's more accurate than he is long. He's 12 here in his one start. I just have no faith in his game. It's a fade for me.
Like maybe this is what he needs, but like the fact after the Arnold Palmer Invitational, he's looking for like cash games in Orlando to like go play rounds. Like maybe that's exactly what he needs to like go out and get loose and like find like his just like a loose stroke, hungover stroke. I don't even know what it is.
Or maybe he needs to like go grind on the range and maybe you're a professional golfer. I mean, I don't know. Some guys do a better job playing in terms of preparing themselves. Other guys like to practice. Whatever works for him. His form's just hasn't been good, and so I'm going to stay away.
Yeah, I'm not going to be early on him. If he turns a corner, then 2, 3, 4 tournaments in, I'll look at him. You know.
Yeah. And I like Joel Damon. He had a guest host on Homa and Shane Bacon's podcast. He's pretty good. He's an entertaining guy. His game's not in a good place, so I will cheer for him, but I will not be rostering him.
If we miss any questions, please let us know. Throw them in there. Thank you everybody for watching. Hit that thumbs up. We're gonna stick around, see if any more questions come in. We'll be live.
Yeah, you're getting choppy there a little bit. We're going live tomorrow at our normal time, 6:30. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. I'm like, no, 6:30 is the time it is for me. What do I start? Yeah, I mean, so, we haven't broken down the whole 6K range. If there is anyone else here curious about, to me, this is such a deep field. There's so many lottery tickets. If this is where, like, I have the two I'm looking at in this range are Gim and Neesmith, and that's just because I think that the things that Neesmith is a very similar play in a lot of ways to Griot. I just feel like I've seen a little bit more flashes of it recently, and I just like the upside a little bit more, all those kind of things. Besides that, I don't want to necessarily take these lottery tickets. I'd rather take the lottery tickets of Cameron Davis, Sam Burns, like these low 7K lottery tickets. And not necessarily load up the top of my roster.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I don't know about rap session, if you want us to beatbox or anything, I don't know about that.
It is just a rap session. Yeah, no questions. We'll be going through our picks and our fades and our sleepers. Just more the card that we put out, our one and done picks, all that kind of stuff, and then maybe chatting a little bit further about the field. But yeah,
maybe some ownership. The one thing I would hammer home tonight is that it's a lot of big fields. DFS, a lot of big fields out there this week. You can't have all chalk. You need to, and you can't play all our picks. Like, you need to. Example is a Stewart Sink. Like, you have to go out and find that kind of pick that is going to be low owned and kind of separate you from the field. And whatever that is, you need to find it or leave salary on the table or whatever. You can't go all chalk. That lineup will never win.
You got a special shout out in the chat, it looks like, Adam.
I don't know why Valeria would say that to both of us.
To both of us. Well, Werenski. I actually was looking at. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
I was looking at Werenski for a little bit.
I don't mind the play at all. What was this? 64.
I think he's a good sneaky play.
Yeah, it's very sneaky to me. Like, it's sort of like you're trying to catch last week's lightning in a bottle. That's the one concern I had. Like Putnam, we saw a little bit more. We've seen it for a few weeks. Werenski, I mean, he popped last summer. I forget what the tournament. Oh, he won the Barracuda, but then he popped at the 3M Open as well. So he has the upside to top 5 finish. It's just, it's not one I'm taking this week. Radtail, I'm going. I have Gim. I've got a very small exposure to Gim, and then I've got 6,700. I've got Matthew Neesmith, and then above that, I'm loaded up in the low 7Ks.
Yeah, Doug Gim for me as well. James Hahn, Mackenzie Hughes, Matthew Neesmith, Zach Johnson. Those are my 6K plays. I think we're a little bit long here.
Yeah,
we wrap it up.
We should get out of here. If your wife is in the chat, that means it's probably time for us.
She wants to leave.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we'll leave it here. We'll get to more questions tomorrow. Good luck. Take care. We'll see you next time.